Welcome back to the Birdies and Bourbon Show. If you're just listening, you're going to hear a familiar voice. I'm not talking about Dan the Bot. I'm talking about Steve Canepa with Filmland Spirits. Steve, how you doing?
Good. I'm surprised I didn't get a little cancellation from you guys after my prognostication skills about the U.S. Open, both in terms of winners and score. But I'm sure you'll give me. I listened to your post U.S. Open podcast, and you were very nice and kind to me. You could have been a little harder on me, but yeah, it was. I just didn't know they were going to count that practice round on Thursday. That's all.
It did happen. I think there may have been a little distraction on was it his hole 14? Is that
14?
There may have been a distraction over there, so that could have occurred. And for those of you that are watching us, you will see we've got Dan here too. Dan, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good, man. Doing good. I wish Tommy Fleetwood would have had a better Sunday, but I'm doing pretty good.
Well, I hear there's a little golf tournament in, I don't know, is it in Hoylake? Is it in Royal Liverpool? Is it Dixie says she doesn't know exactly where it's at? So apparently somebody has a dog outside my door and they're not knocking. I think they're just standing there with a dog because the dog is letting me know that somebody's standing there with another dog. And I can almost hear the dog, but I think they moved on now. So we will proceed, gentlemen. Before we do, we're going to talk a little about Rory McIlroy. I mean, long time coming and a victory at the Scottish Open. And then we're going to get right into the Open. Before we do, though, Steve Canepa again with Filmland Spirits. This is going to be a weird question because I think I know the answer that you're going to give me. But what are you sipping on today?
Well, I was surprised to find at my front door, not a dog, but a wonderful bottle of whiskey that you two gentlemen were kind enough to provide to me, Mackenzie Rye. I can't lie. I was gonna wait till we were on today to try it, but it was sitting there. You got it to me a couple weeks early, and it was sitting there, and I had to have a little bit beforehand. But just a taste, just so I can know what to expect when we're on. But that's what I'm sipping on today, and thank you so much for that. It's fantastic.
Yeah, sure thing. I'm starting with the Virgin Old Fashioned. And I'll probably get into a little Mackenzie as we get into this. But if you haven't, you should go check out Filmland Spirits and should give them a try. I think there's some news right on the Filmland side, maybe on the distribution front.
Yeah, I think the times we talked to you in the past, we're available online almost throughout the country, 42, I think, or 43 states now. But physical distribution was only in Kentucky and California from the start. But recently, about 2 weeks ago, maybe a little longer, we signed with a new distributor who's a little more west coast centric, Pacific Edge. They announced it on their website, so we were able to talk about it a little bit more. And they're in the 5 western states. So we got Washington, Oregon, California, Nevada, Arizona now, where they'll be able to go into brick and mortar stores and do distributions. That's a big step for us. Yeah. It's a question we get more often than anything else is where can we find you? And then we say online. And then some people are a little iffy about shipping costs, even though we have a lot of deals sometimes there with free shipping. But I think people like walking around the aisles and seeing the product. So it's part of our grand plan to get in every state we can at some point in time. So we got a few more there at Pacific Edge, and we're real happy about the partnership with them.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, great news and congratulations. So looking
Thanks.
Forward to further expansions into the rest of the U.S. I'm sure it's on its way. So,
yep, thanks.
Dan, what are you drinking?
Oh, we got some Tennessee.
Oh, look at you supporting the club. Hey, good news. So I'm sure you. So I got a few questions. Well, hold on before we do that. So I'm going to talk about the pick we did for the Open. So I had a first on the golf course this Saturday. It wasn't at Sweetens, unfortunately. They're closed down for the next 2 weeks. They're cutting the greens. So I stayed in Atlanta for once and played here locally. And we had a foursome together. A couple of the guys bailed on us, whatever. So my buddy Kevin and I go and we're on the tee box and getting ready to tee off. And they're like, oh, hey, we're going to pair you with somebody, which is, Saturday, whatever, 10 o'clock. I mean, that kind of thing's going to happen. Oddly enough, we look back and there are two ladies in a cart, and they're coming this way. And here they wind up with us. And we both look at each other and we're like, huh, well, isn't this unique? I've never had that happen before. I've definitely played with couples and whatnot, but just not two random ladies that are out to play golf on a Saturday. But we wound up having a really good time. They did try a little whiskey, of which they said they didn't drink very often, but they were big fans. So I guess maybe they got a bottle coming their way, maybe not. But yeah, made new friends of the show. So out spreading the love. Yeah. It's good.
So,
good and good to see.
I do like this story, Cal, a lot. And, you know, we're here, right?
Oh yeah, Tobacco Road. Yep.
Yeah. The last time I saw you play with some ladies, you got your ass kicked.
Indeed. Yeah. What did she say? She said, I guess I misread the name of the podcast. It should be called Bogeys and Bourbon. Let's just say that day I would have been happy if it would have only been a bogey. How about that? I did not fare quite as bad as I did this weekend as I did at Tobacco Road. So
nice to hear.
I'll leave it at that. All right, so let's chat a little about Rory McIlroy. I mean, pretty big week, right? I mean, wins the Scottish Open. Bobby Mack was, I mean, he was fist pumping. He was ready. I mean, he's on the range. He's getting ready. He's warming up, or he's staying loose for the rematch. No rematch required. Rory McIlroy, he proves, Dan, that he is not the Chick-fil-A of the PGA Tour. He is not closed on Sunday, sir. He is serving, now serving on Sundays.
Now serving on Sundays.
Yeah. So
we got to get those. So we got two shirts, right? Last time we got the Play Better, Drink Bourbon t-shirt out of Rory. And this time it's McIlroy, not closed on Sundays.
Now serving. Yeah. Now serving on Sundays.
McIlroy now serving on
Sundays. Yeah, Mick-fil-A. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is there any, so think about that. Think about where we're heading this week, right? We're heading to, we'll talk a little about naming conventions, both of the tournament and of the location. Steve, I know you've got some.
I'm just confused if the tournament's at Hoylake or at Royal Liverpool. I'm probably going to watch both.
I think I'm going to have to record one so I can watch the other. I guess. Yeah. I mean, I don't know which way to go. So, Rory McIlroy, by the way, won the Open Championship in 2014 at this very course. So, you know, oftentimes we're talking about these back-to-back wins, and, you know, somebody wins, they're coming into the tournament the next week, and, you know, is it right? Are they going to be able to do it? Are they going to pull it off? I mean, are you all pro Rory this week? I mean, is this the shining light that Rory has been looking for since LIV started? Is this his silver bullet that is finally going to put Rory in the spotlight?
Dave?
Well, I think of all the tournaments that precede a major, the Scottish Open is used more as practice rounds for the next one than any other one. And maybe I forget the one that's before the Masters, but maybe that one too a little bit. But I think it's the one that the mindset is, I'm going to go play 8 rounds of golf. And I'm going to use the first 4 to kill. And so I think that bodes well for him. The wind wasn't crazy at the Scottish. So if the wind isn't crazy at the Open, because he's not the greatest wind player. He's maybe one of the greatest players, but he hits a ball so high, and when he tries to keep it low, he's not quite as adept at it as other people are. So if the wind condition, the weather conditions are similar, I think it bodes very well for him. He's on a roll, and his body language just looks so good. Like he just had that old strut again, I thought.
Well, I mean, when you're winning, of course. I mean, that's like me. That's like me getting paired up with two gals at the first time on the golf course. I mean, I'm strutting out there.
So they weren't strutting; you were strutting.
Well,
either one of you named Martha. Okay, now I can strut. Now I can strut.
Let's just say anybody that's ever played golf with me, they know that I have no right to strut anywhere on the golf course. If I'm strutting, it's because I got to piss really bad, and I'm fast walking. That's the only way that's going down.
I know that feeling.
Yeah. So anybody, I mean, did anybody at the Scottish so Rory, obviously, I think Bobby Mack's going to be interesting as we once we get into the Open and start talking about it. But I mean, anybody else that really kind of stood out? I mean, Scheffler. I mean, he missed the cut last year. Scheffler finishes T3.
Yeah.
David Lingmerth, I don't know that he is, I don't think a top 3 got him in, or T3, I'm sorry, gets him into the Open. I think Benny On is in the Open, but we'll talk a little about that. A couple people that were interesting to me. And we'll, once we get to the Open and we start running through the players, this T6 number I find very interesting at the Scottish. So you wind up with JT Poston, Tommy Fleetwood, Hatton, Tom Kim, Højgaard, you know, say what you will. I mean, Tom Kim, you know, shoots a +3, Fleetwood shoots a +2. And so it kind of took them out of it. I mean, they did, you know, at that point, I mean, they really don't have a chance to win. But to your point, Steve, I mean, if this is really a practice round, and again, I mean, if anybody's, you know, if they're hitting the stride and they're kind of going through the motions, then, you know, it's probably a different ball game, but that may not be the approach walking into the tournament. I think that T6, that's going to weigh really heavy on what I'm looking at for this weekend. Yeah, we'll talk about what the name is of what's happening this weekend in a minute.
Yeah, I think Tommy Fleetwood was my pick last week. Again, he didn't play on Sunday very well. I mean, Hatton, Tom Kim, all those guys are big contenders this week, but I think I might be leaning more towards a little bit on the live side. But we'll see. We'll see how it shakes out.
Boy, I am for sure. I am for sure. All right. Anything else about Rory? I mean, we could go on and on about it, but we're going to go on and on about him when we get to the Open. So I don't.
Well, I just didn't know if you were going to review the other major golf tournament that happened yesterday, which was Steph Curry winning the American Century with that eagle on the 18th hole. I thought that was spectacular, and I was I'm a Warrior fan, so it was.
Oh, you doubling down then?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I watching Marty Fish and Steph Curry play golf it's almost like watching the pros play golf. It's just a notch below.
And did he, what did he hole out on? Like, was it 17 or 16 or 17?
He had a hole-in-one on the 7th on Saturday.
Yeah.
And to go ballistic, and the crowd went crazy. I think they'd had hole-in-ones on that 17 hole along the lake before, but I think that was the first hole-in-one on the 7th in that tournament's history.
Yeah, I don't think so. Romo's made a few appearances on some events like sponsors exemptions or whatever. I don't think Steph has done that yet.
He did a Corn Ferry thing up in the Bay Area. I think it was in Napa, and the first round he shot 1 over, and then the second round he shot like 11 over or something and missed the cut.
I wish I'd have shot.
I mean, the thing that's crazy is most of the winners of this have moved on in their career, and they can play golf all the time. He's still in the middle of, I think they said it's the first active athlete to win in 20 something years of this.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry to digress. It just was
no.
It was a fun moment for a Warriors fan to see.
We're open and sharing people here, Steve. Whatever's near and dear to you, it can be near and dear to us.
Well, Steve, so then the third big event was the golf round you played with the 2 ladies. So those were the 3 in order, I think, of the whole weekend. Yeah.
I wouldn't disagree.
So Steve, Curry's got a small place in our heart here in North Carolina, of course.
For sure.
For sure. So Cal, back to his point though, like if it was a notch below for Curry, how many notches below would you versus on Saturday be?
Well, you're talking about me in general, or you're talking about the competition?
No, he had said that was the second big event. Yours was the third big event.
We didn't have a lot of competition. Let's put it like that. Let me say this. I actually played one of the better rounds of golf that I played this year, and holy shit, was it hot. Good God. I mean, we're in Atlanta in the middle of July, and it is, it's like walking out in a sauna. People are like, oh, it's hot here and it's hot there. And I'm like, you know what? Bring your ass, come on down to Atlanta and let's go to the golf course. And bring a change of clothes. Cause I hit like 3 balls on the range, and I'm like, yep, I'm done. Like I don't need to. I know everything is warm. I don't need to hit anything else. I'll just go play golf.
Were you playing your primary set of your mirrors, or are you playing anything else?
Do I have to disclose that?
I think it's just fun for everybody to know.
So what are you saying? My mirrors?
Yeah. What were you playing? Yeah.
Oh no, I was playing the mirrors. Yeah, I was playing so my buddy Kevin, he did this, by the way. I'm sure you've stopped listening by now. If you come back and you're listening again, we'll probably be talking about the Open. Okay, so he's giving me shit about my drives, right? And he's like, you just got to hit my driver, hit my driver, hit my driver. I'm like, I don't want to hit your driver. I don't want to hit it. I've actually bought this was not hey, try this out, or hey, we're sending this to you. I purchased a new driver. It's not here yet. But I bought and I'm getting up there in the years, right? I'm not as young as I used to be. I bought a Tour Edge. It's the new 732 something or another. I don't know. I'll go to Instagram, Birdies_Bourbon. I'll once I get it, I'll post a video about it. So I don't know, Steve, do you ever play any Tour Edge product?
I don't. I'm a tailor-made driver, and everything else is Mizuno.
Yeah, so I tried the Stealth here a little while back, and it just didn't. I don't know. Didn't like it. I'm playing a PXG right now. I swear to God, man, we were on number like 11 or 12, and I hit this driver, and it wasn't the best swing in the world. It's never the best swing. It wasn't my best swing, and I'm like, holy shit! I said, I'm going to hit that again on the next hole. I'm going to hit that again on the next hole. I'm going to hit that again on the next hole. I think I missed every fairway through 11 holes, and I didn't miss a fairway after that. And I had definitely been drinking. I wouldn't say I've been drinking a lot. Let's say the normal amount. How about that? What, par for the course? So
Cal, over the weekend or over the last week, your buddy Adam Scott says the biggest fundamental change in the game since I've turned pro is traditionally the driver's been the hardest club to hit in the bag, and now it's the most forgiving. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, friend of the show, John Tattersall, says, get to know your driver. Your driver should be your best friend. It should be the club that you're most comfortable with in the bag. And I think after what I just did on Saturday, I don't know if I agree. I'm going to make it my best friend.
Well, now that they've come up with technology that adjusts for blood alcohol content to straighten out your shots, I mean, what else? That's amazing. That's pretty much what Cal just described happened, right?
You don't have to blow on the club. You just spit on it, as you're kind of wiping something off, and it.
I thought it picked up on your breath. Yeah, I got you. Yeah,
could have, but yeah, it's definitely measuring.
Let me ask you. So, Rory hit a persimmons this last week. Like he hit like 280 yards, 288 was what 280 or something like that. What was it, Steve?
Mm-hmm.
It was it was 330 something and 280 something. Yeah, I remember it was like 50 yards difference. Yeah.
Yeah. So was Jack Nicklaus a bigger bomber than Rory McIlroy?
Ooh.
Well, did he use?
I don't know that he used a different ball. I don't know that. Yeah, I think Rory might have hit his same ball that he hits today, which makes that a different occurrence happen there.
But I think it's equivalent. I think what Jack did then is the same as what Rory can do now, versus the competition. And I think I mean, maybe there's a little difference, but I think he was well ahead of his time on how far he can hit the ball.
That's
and
pretty
straight.
That's pretty interesting, right? I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool.
So you're getting persimmons. So Steve said he digressed. I mean, hell, you've taken us on. I don't even know where we are. It's like, are we in England?
What's going on this coming up weekend?
Are we at Royal Liverpool?
This is recent news. Recent news. Jack Nicklaus is in the field this week.
It is recent. Ooh, recent news. And Tiger Woods. I hear he's still trying to get his plane ticket booked. So. Yeah. What else? So Dan, since you brought it up, what other recent news would you like to discuss?
I've already shared it all. That's it. I don't have anything else.
By the way, if you're just listening to the show on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you listen to the show, you can see what this debacle looks like if you head on over to YouTube. Just look for Birdies Bourbon. You'll find it there.
Steve, what do we miss on the news side? Anything else we missed on the news side? I thought we kind of covered.
I'm not sure if you guys talked about it, and I think it was within the last week, was the divulgence of some of the LIV PGA Saudi Arabia thing about.
See, I didn't want to compromise you, but since you opened the door.
They removed the clause or the rule that they can't poach each other's players. So that was one of the sticking points. I think they gave it to Congress to review or something. I was reading.
Oh, did you watch any of the Senate hearing the other day?
I did not.
So it was very interesting. I don't want to say that there were. I mean, it was very what you would expect of a Senate hearing, right? Lots of vague answers, lots of non-committal answers. Jimmy Dunn, man. I mean, that guy is I guess a wizard. Is that what you would call him? He's a wizard in his wordery. It was very interesting just to hear. I don't have anything per se that I want to bring up. I'm just saying the whole dynamic of everything that was happening and the way that they were framing things up. Yeah, I don't know. Interesting is what I would say.
Yeah, I think the more that is exposed on that whole front, the more confused I get. It's contrary to most stuff where the more I read and listen to or look at, I get more understanding. I seem to get more confused every time I see something new on what these guys are planning on doing. But I thought it was interesting though. The one is there was something in the original conversation where they were not going to poach each other's players, but they removed that, and I thought that was very interesting from both sides.
Well, I think because I think LIV potentially, I don't know if LIV goes away, and this is, I'm going to date myself, but way back, and I'm going to date it so much I don't remember what it was called, but it was like somebody's wild world of golf, and they had these exhibition matches where, you know, it was Jack and it was Gary Player.
It was Shell's, yeah,
the Shell
oil company, yeah,
the Shell's, yeah, and it,
Yeah.
you know, and it was kind of what they were doing with the Capital One stuff today. I mean, that's what I would equate it to ish, except back in the day, I think it was only professional golfers that were doing it. Today, it's kind of bleeding over into some of the, you know, the Stephs and the Mannings and the Bradys. And so a little more celebrity status that's kind of floating around out there. And probably people that are more interested in golf and, you know, are taking it up then. I mean, I don't know, was Hollywood Joe, was he a golfer? I don't know if I ever said, I would imagine at some point, but I don't know if he was good. But I could easily see the whole, you know, that kind of spin coming out of LIV becomes now that boutique, exactly what it is, right? It's like, hey, we're going to have a party and we're going to go and we're going to put on an exhibition and we're going to give you 750-yard par fives, and we're going to give you, you know, 80-yard par threes. And I mean, a combination of a lot of things that we see over different courses over the tour schedule. But how do we put all those into one? And by the way, not a political show, by the way, vote how you like. You should. You're right. But, you know, Trump just pulled the championship, the LIV championship, pulled it back to, it left Saudi Arabia, and now it's back in the United States, and it's a drought, which I think is, I mean, also interesting. I mean, pro or con. I mean, that's not the point of what I'm saying. I'm just saying, I think it's interesting that the entity that it is, by the way, we're supposed to be talking about the Open, Dan. Thank you. The entity that it is, it's left one of its core sponsoring countries, and now it's back in the US. And so I don't know, maybe it's a marketing play or a PR play that says, hey, yeah, look at this, you know, but the PGA Tour, they don't play the Blue Monster anymore. I mean, that's kind of sold off. So I don't know, more to come. We'll do, this is, oh, Steve, you said you were surprised you didn't get a cancellation. So as long as I don't fall out of my chair today, even if I do fall out of my chair, hey, who's counting? We should plan to do something prior to and do a Ryder Cup show, by the way.
Sounds good.
Got a new got two to decide on what our Ryder Cup selection is going to be. So
The only thing I got out of the Senate hearings last week, Cal, and you and I've talked about this quite a bit. I went deep into the T's and C's, and I'm trying to figure out how we can get an Augusta National membership. That's all.
Ooh, I figured that out. That is, we just don't have enough money yet. What we need broader distribution of Birdies and Bourbon swag, and I think we're getting closer. We're sneaking up on it.
We got to kidnap Jay Monahan. Cousin Eddie style.
We're supposed to be talking about the Open, by the way, but you brought this up. And so just so you know, there's going to be some trivia at the end of this thing. So if you don't want to listen to this garbage, just get fast forward to the end. I don't think it's garbage. By the way, do we know what actually happened to Jay Monahan? Was there any official releases on, like, I know he had some health concerns or health issues, but I didn't see anything that said, we're monitoring for this, or we got this. It was just a vague, a vague explanation of what the issue was. Is everybody in agreement there?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I listened to your guys' previous podcast, and I'm not trying to imply anything, but you both said he'd be gone. So
he's not gone. He's not gone.
Well, no, I'm just saying that it was mysterious that you both predicted he'd be gone, and all of a sudden he's
gone.
He's gone.
Hold the phone. Hold on. Steve, we didn't say they were going to fire him while he was out sick.
No.
I'm just teasing. It's just that you sick is, quote unquote. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's okay not to be okay. That's all I have to say. But I mean, he is kind of gone, right? I mean, it's not, it's like, what's the movie? Is it Tom Cruise or, there's two letters, right? You get two letters. The first letter says, hey, you know what? Blame everything on me. It's my fault. Just blame me. The second letter says, sit down and write two letters. So I think he may be sitting down and writing two letters. I can't think of that movie. Can you guys think of it?
I can't. I know that I recognize the spiel, but I can't think of the movie.
Yeah, it was some president that was there. He's playing a president or something. Yeah, but he's like, the second one is sit down and write two letters. So yeah, sit down and wrote two letters. And I think Jay's probably having a hard time coughing up the words to get them on paper. And I mean, it's easy. It's like blame everything on me and then write two letters. I mean, it's like two sentences. Actually, I guess you could condense it down to that. Anyway. I don't know. I thought it was weird, and I still think it's weird, but we'll see where we wind up there. So, all right, we got a lot to talk about for the Open Championship. Are we ready to start into this? Dan may totally derail us again. So all the talk they've been this AI stuff and the bots. Yeah. Clearly, I didn't renew my subscription with my bot because it is not staying on script whatsoever.
That's a good point.
Way to go, Dan.
Real good point.
Totally. Okay. So, here's the first, I'm going to present this in a way, and you gentlemen, have at it, however you would like. What are we going to call this? What do you call this tournament, by the way?
I go to the Open Championship. I abide. I work as instructed.
And what are you calling it?
The Open Championship.
Okay. Steve?
So I out of respect, I'm trying to call it the Open Championship, but I called it the British Open for such a long time that I mess up every now and then. And anybody from the RNA, I apologize. I don't mean any disrespect by it. It's just when you say something for 40 years and then you start trying to say something a different way, you just mess up a little bit. I think people, are still going to call them the Washington Redskins for a while, even though they're not anymore, right? So
come on, Steve, clean it up.
I'm sorry. So I'm trying my best to call it the Open Championship, but I don't succeed as often as they would probably prefer that I do. I remember the first time I was on with you guys, I said something and apologized afterwards and watched your faces. You're like, who cares?
Apologies unaccepted. No apologies required here.
That whole speech was tongue in cheek. I don't give a shit either.
Here we go. The cider finished rye whiskey is starting to set in. That's in just the way we like it, by the way. Wouldn't have it any other way. So yeah, and speaking of, you brought up the Redskins. I may live with a person that she may have gone and bought a lot of paraphernalia when they said that they're changing, the logo's gone, their mascot's gone, name's gone. She really wasn't a Redskins fan per se. She wasn't against them, but she's like, yeah, I'm gonna support this culture. I'm not canceling it. So there you have it. I was supportive, by the way. I said, as you should. I have been schooled in the way of the last major of the year. And I just refer to it as the Open. I had this conversation about 45 minutes before we got on, and somebody called it the European Open, somebody called it the British Open, somebody said, the tournament that's happening in England this weekend. And I'm like, that's okay. I think it's just the Open. And they're like, well, yeah, but how do you know which Open it is? And I said, because it's the only Open that you refer to as the Open. And they're like, well, yeah, but the US Open. And I'm like, right. The US Open, it did happen on US soil. So I don't know. I'm a fan of the Open. Let's get to location wise. So we are in England, by the way. We are seaside. There's a little bit of Hoy Lake in here. I don't know, in 1960 something or another, I don't know, what do you call the guy? What do you call the guy that the engraver? He called it Holy Lake. He engraved, not Hoy Lake. And it also could be Royal Liverpool. I don't know. What are we going with? Like, are we going with a potpourri, or what's happening here?
I'm trying to call it Royal Liverpool because I think that's the name of the club, and I think
right.
it's the region is Hoy Lake, and so a lot of people nickname it, call it by Hoy Lake, but I think it's officially Royal Liverpool.
Yeah, so do I. Royal Liverpool Golf Club. So it's been written. We're not going to go through a whole lot of. Well, Dan, what are you going to call it?
Liverpool. Yeah.
Just Liverpool.
Yeah.
Dropping the Royal. It's just going to be Liverpool.
Yeah.
He's a Beatles fan.
Bloody old England, hey?
Yeah, it's all about soccer. Yeah.
Bloody old England, hey? All right, so here we go. I think this is go listen to another factual podcast if you want to do that. We're having a good time. We're having a drink. I think this is the 14th time that the Open has been held at this course. I could be completely wrong, but I don't think I'm that far off. It is Hoy Lake in England, Royal Liverpool Golf Club. We're just shy of 7,400 yards. It's going to play as a par 71. Now, one of the facts that I found a little bit interesting, I don't know, it was interesting to me, is that a lot of the courses that the Open hosts their major tournament, they're not really open to change, right? I mean, you talk about the old course and, some of the others, and it's like, we're not really changing what's going on. We're leaving the course as intended. And as I read, Royal Liverpool has been, they've been the most receptive to moving tee boxes back, adding bunkers. They've added a new hole this year. I think it's the par 3, number 17, that they made a big change on. And I think that's, I don't know that it matters to me really, but I think that it's interesting to see how a lot of the other you've got Royal Troon and you got Port Rush, Turnberry, Carnoustie. I already mentioned the old course and Prestwick. I mean, you've got a lot of these courses that I don't know that they're really relevant to, they're going to be links courses. We mentioned earlier, they're going to be a bit weather dependent as far as, what's the defenses of the golf course, but I don't know that it really makes a difference in what's really going to happen and who are going to be the winners. One thing I do want to call out before we get too deep into this is I'll run through a few previous winners and the golf courses. So Cameron Smith, St. Andrews, Colin Morikawa at Royal St. George's, Shane Lowry in 2019 at Royal Port Rush, Francesco Molinari. Dan loves him. They call him the Sauce Man at Carnoustie. Jordan Spieth in 2017 at Royal Birkdale. Henrik Stenson, who he will be playing, allegedly, he's going to be teeing it up at Troon. I don't know. Do we need to go? We don't need Zach Johnson. I think he's probably there. I mean, he won at St. Andrews. And Rory McIlroy in 2014 at Royal Liverpool. And I'll say the other probably relevant is Tiger Woods, even though he's not teeing it up. Won here in 2006. So no stranger to major tournaments, to the Open. I don't know. What do you guys think, Steve? Anything that you found unique? I know you've been looking around. Anything?
Yeah, I mean, I think the other courses offer so much more in terms of defense than just distance, that I think it makes sense that they don't change as much. As I did a little research on this one, it doesn't have as much going. I'm not saying nothing, right? I mean, there's weather, there's bunkers, there's gorse, there's the longer stuff, but it didn't seem to be as penal as maybe some of the other ones you mentioned. And so I think their willingness to add a little distance as a fifth or sixth line of defense made a little more sense than a Carnoustie, which doesn't really need that. It has 15 lines of defense already set up, and distance didn't need to be added to make it. So I think it was a good move. Looking at the course, I did like kind of a hole by hole flyover. It's not a huge elevation change. There's not as much mounding. There's not as much, fairway kicks into the rough and things like that. So to me, distance maybe made a little more sense here than it did at some of the other classic courses.
Noted. Yeah. So a couple things. So Tiger Woods won here in 06 at 18 under. Rory won here in 2014 at 17 under. So I mentioned added some bunkers. We've added I'll say added a hole. I mean, really, they kind of changed. I guess they added, but they changed the hole. And I think the distance piece. So there's two par fives that are over 600 yards. The par threes, I mean, look kind of average. I mean, nothing like too crazy. And again, I think it is going to be dependent on what the weather does, which is why I'm going to wait to make some bets. I'm going to wait to make some lineups, because here's what's happening. So weather-wise, now we're forecasting, and by the way, we're not weather people, but we're forecasting, and what is forecasted is it's going to be, we're looking at probably mid 50s to low 60s all week through the weekend. And it looks like the wind, a week out, in England, who knows what you're going to get, right? I mean, it could be completely different. So, I think that's the reason some of these things, some of the bets you're going to make, unless you bet futures, I don't know. I think you got to wait a little closer to Thursday tee times. But Saturday looks like it's probably going to be wind wise, it probably looks like that's going to be the most challenging. And outside of that, Thursday and Friday, as it is, we're talking under 20 mile per hours, and which is really nothing over there. I would say I haven't played in England, but I played in Scotland, and I'd say not really compromised whatsoever. And Saturday you get into some 20 plus 30 mile an hour gusts that that could make a difference, but they're late in the afternoon, so. I don't know. We'll see where we get there. Dan, would you like to talk about the forecast?
No, you guys got it. I'm good.
Drink more, Dan.
That's more. Right. That's right.
All right. Steve, anything else you want to say? I want to get into some of the players over with our friends at Fantasy National. Anything else you want to add? Or are we ready to get into this?
No, I think we're ready. I think you covered it.
Okay, so fantasynational.com. I'm going to be looking at the last 24 rounds. We're going to go through these in some form or fashion. We're going to start with the 10,000 and higher players. There's 165 players here. We ain't got to go through them one by one, but we're going to talk about who we want to talk about. And Steve, as the guest, sir, and so that you might come back on the show, who do you want to start with in the $10,000 and higher range?
I need to see it, but I'm
Got it right
assuming
here.
Rory and Scottie are both in there.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I actually like the top two guys big time, and it the only difference to me is that win. So if the current projections you just said won't really one bad day, I think Rory has the nod. If it blows harder, I like Scottie a little more because he just, from Texas, and even over time, he's proven to play better in win. But those two to me set themselves apart from the rest of the $10,000 field.
Everybody else likes Scottie Scheffler too. He's projected at 17%. I wouldn't be surprised if that creeps into 18% ownership from a DraftKings perspective, by the way. Rory McIlroy, not far behind him, probably. McIlroy, he probably will be sneaking up on Scottie Scheffler. The last I looked, both of these guys at the book that I could buy into, they were both plus 700. So would I be surprised? I mean, I don't know. I guess if you go with the narrative that back-to-back wins are hard, then Rory probably takes a little bit of a back seat. But I mean, haven't we proved that wrong time and time again over the past 2 or 3 years? That, I mean, if you're really on, and now you want to go back-to-back wins, okay, I'll give you. Yeah, I'm always a no man, but back-to-back, I mean, it's probably not that far skewed. I don't know. Dan, you want to go? I don't there's no one in the $10,000 range, other than my one and done for last week. Probably the only guy that I'm steering a little bit away from is, and not away from, I'm just not leaning towards, is Xander Schauffele. I mean, that's probably the guy that I'm like, don't know that I need to go down that road. Everybody else, I think, is fair game. And I think from Brooks Koepka through Scottie Scheffler, I mean, even Xander for that matter, I think they could all win the tournament. I mean, recent form is good. What do we got? We got Jon Rahm at the Travelers, who missed the cut. I mean, does anybody really care? I don't think so. So yeah, I mean, there's no one here that I'm against.
So I think it's just nice that Fantasy National, and not Fantasy National, but DraftKings, let me correct myself, DraftKings is actually starting to respect LIV a little bit more, because at the player, well, not the players, but the Masters and the PGA and the US Open, we didn't see Cameron Smith and Brooks Koepka in $10,000 range. They were much further down the list, but here they are. Look at these guys. I mean, this is what the OWGR should reflect right here.
Yeah, so I think that, so I'll make a couple of call outs here. So I think Cam Smith, so off the tee, he's 104th in the field, but putting is really good. I mean, the greens are going to be slow, right? I mean, this is that seaside, but it's not POA, but it's the Bermuda fescue. It's a mix up, right? I mean, it's a weird mix because it's on where it sits. So greens are going to be slow. Distance is definitely going to help. And I think is off the tee going to be what Cam Smith had at St. Andrews last year? I think absolutely not. I think that's probably where, there's a few OB spots. I think the miss is right. And I think that's where Cam Smith may get into a little bit of trouble. I'm riding Brooks Koepka like Seabiscuit, man. I mean, this is I mean, I'm getting the whip out early, and I'm riding Brooks Koepka all the way to the end of this thing. He's healthy. He's got something to prove. He's already got a major win this year, and he could be called the sixth major man.
True. It's true.
Lee, help me, Steve. Lee Majors. He is the Brooks Koepka is the Lee Majors of the 21st century.
Or the Steve Austin, which was his name as the $6 million man.
Oh shit.
Oh.
Oh no, but hold on. But the actor's name though was
the actor was Lee
right?
Majors. Yeah, the character was
right.
Steve Austin.
Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Stone Cold Steve Austin, by the way.
No. Two
all right.
really different people. Yeah. So the thing that I like about Scottie over Brooks is he can shape the ball either direction. And when the wind is up, if you predominantly shape it one way and the wind is coming, let's say you hit as a right-hander, you're going to hit a fade and the wind's coming off your left, it actually calls for you to maybe hit a draw into that wind. And Brooks, I know he can do it. I mean, all these guys can do it. Xander, they just don't seem to be able to do it as consistently as Scottie can shape it either direction to actually use the wind to hold up a shot and have it land a little soft or whatever. I just think he's got that advantage. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to win. He's got that one extra skill set, and his putting looked so much better in LA than it had recently. So that Achilles heel looked to be fixed. But anybody on the screen right now, if their game is on, are going to be fantastic. But I just think he has that one extra little thing, and Rory can do it too. Just I don't think quite as good as Scottie can do it.
So you said this. Let me ask this a little more direct. Who do you think the most, and this will be a theme that I'm going to ask throughout when we go through the price ranges. Who do you think the most creative player is in this elite field of golfers that's on the screen?
I think it's Scottie Scheffler.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean you saw him work his way around Augusta, and even though Augusta is not a link style golf course, I think I'm not disagreeing with you, Steve. I like where that's going. Dan, do you have any comments? You want to move to the $9,000 range?
No, we can go on. I think we covered this one here. A ton of great players up here. I'm probably leaning more towards Cam. I think you can get it done. Your buddy Adam Scott said the driver is the most innovative club in the bag, so it's an easy club these days, and I'm going to go with that.
Did I mention I purchased a new driver? I can't wait to get to Sweetens Cove and show these guys what I'm really made of.
See, and if it's all coming together, Dan's tangent is all coming together now.
If I do, I'm gonna, and I don't do negative review. It won't be a negative review, but it will be I don't know why I've been playing with another driver this long if that was not an anomaly, and it's actually really something.
But when Cal says he doesn't do negative reviews, he's talking about everything except for Dan's performance reviews.
Well, like I said, when you sign up for a subscription for the bot, sometimes you get things, and sometimes you get things that don't. It's like it's like a boob job. It's like you never go to the deal site to get a boob job. It's just, like buy one get one free doesn't work out. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. All right. Yeah, Steve, you would agree?
Yeah, I was on pins and needles of where you're going with that analogy, and you brought it home. So good job.
Well, I mean,
so did we talk about Vic at all or no? Because he's in $10,000 range too.
I thought he was $9,000. Oh, he is. He's 10,000. But we did not. Well, Dan, do tell. He won the Memorial, showing off.
I think he's a good play here. I mean, obviously, you talk about the driver being so critical. I think this is ball striking his way around this place, and the putting is at 24 in this field around everything. Look at the around the green, 39th, and he's made so many improvements there. I mean, I just don't know how you can go away from Vic here. What do you think, Steve?
Steve, if you don't mind, T4 here last year, T12 in 21, which T4 was at St. Andrews. I don't know. Yeah, it's links, but it's a big course, and there's a lot of things going on. So I don't know how variable that is. But yeah, that's all I'm saying. I mean, T12 or better in his last two outings at the Open. Steve?
Yeah, so I think he'll be in the mix. I haven't seen the imagination from him yet, like on when to hit. He's really improved his short game, but he's improved it in the classic golf course sense where there's a green with a little bit of rough and then a bigger rough, and you hit a couple different types of shots and it's reacting some way. I haven't seen him, and I'm not saying he can't do it. I just personally haven't seen him with that. He can hit the bump and run when he needs to. He can use the 5-iron from 20 yards off the green. I just haven't seen him demonstrate it. If he happens to have that in his game, and I just haven't seen it, he'd be fantastic, because I think every other element he possesses. But some other guys in this, 10 to 9 range have that other skill demonstrated in front of me more often.
All right, $9,000 range. Here we go. And
That's a question, Cal?
God, I hope not, but go ahead.
Steve, Ricky Fowler, $9,800, overpriced or underpriced?
I think he's overpriced.
Oh,
Yeah. I think it takes a little while to get over. I mean, he won a tournament, right?
No,
But
hold on just a second, Steve. Hold on.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mean to cut you off, but I do mean to cut you off because I'm not saying that your answer is there's no right answer.
Sure.
This is just a perception of what you see. Let me tell you his last 5 tournaments: Genesis, Scottish Open, T42, Rocket Mortgage, win. Now that could have been a Vince McMahon job right there. I mean, that could have totally been like bait and switch because that's his sponsor. Travelers, T13, also could be a little bit of a hoodwinker coming into this thing, like helping the bettors out, like wink, wink. Travelers, I hope we don't get canceled for that. But US Open, no sponsor. I mean, he has sponsors, but not T5 and Memorial T9. Dan and I, if you listen to our show, I don't know if you listened all the way through, but Dan and I talked a lot about Spieth. We talked a lot about Bucky, and we talk a lot about JT.
Yeah.
And I think Spieth is already ahead of where Bucky's at, right? Spieth has gone through the transition. He's there, and now we just got to get things fluid. And we got to get things moving. I mean, he's won since, and we're good. Bucky, same thing. Bucky's there. Bucky's doing it. Bucky's getting it done. And now we're working on the JT move. And the JT move of he's going through whatever his change is, but well, because my buddies bought new clubs and my buddies changed their swing, or my buddies change. So he's doing, I mean, everybody's kind of following suit in the little in the village or village, however you want to refer to it. And I think that it's one of those. I can't believe that you think he's
Well, so to me, I look at majors and everything else as 2 separate things. And I saw him at the US Open. Some Patriots would call that the Open, but they, we'll call it the US Open. Thank you for getting my joke. So I saw him for almost 3 full rounds, but it started at the end of round 3. Everything before that, I saw this player that I thought could win anything he ever played in the rest of his life. And then something happened on like the 16th or 17th hole on Saturday. And he just lost this edge. And I don't know, I'm not saying he can't win a major, but until I see him on a Sunday of a major, play the way he's capable of playing in normal PGA Tour events, or he played the first couple rounds of that US Open, which he looked so unbeatable for a while. Just even though he and Schauffele both shot that record round or tied the record in round 1, his demeanor and his effortlessness doing it looked better than Xander's did. And then on Friday, he looked great again, and most of Saturday, but then something changed. And that's the scar tissue I'm saying he's got to get out before I become like a believer. Some of the, like Jordan won when he was young, and now we give him the benefit of the doubt every time, even though recent history, he hasn't closed out in a major, but we give him the benefit of the doubt. Ricky's in the opposite. He hasn't ever done it. We've never seen it. So he just got to prove it to me one time on a Sunday when that major pressure is there to perform the way he can perform. And then from that point on, I'll never bet against him.
What's his biggest win?
Players.
Players, I think.
That would be mine too. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what I would say. Didn't he win the Scottish Open like several years ago?
I think he did. Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. I was trying to look for it while I was being cute and asking that, and it ain't a gotcha moment, but nevertheless, yeah, I agree.
But that was before swing change. Those were both before the swing change.
Well before.
And his comfort, it was his comfort level that looked to change the end of Saturday and Sunday. Just that confidence and that comfort with his new swing versus the uncertainty. So, I mean, it's going to come. It takes a while to master when you go through whatever changes he went through.
I'm totally on your side, and he did not. Where did Fowler show up at last week? I gotta find this.
Fine then,
don't-
Steve. Depress us on Cantlay.
Well, he's another one that hasn't demonstrated the ability to perform on those Sunday back nines at a major. That's all. Just haven't seen it. He's a great player, fantastic player. He did it in the playoffs, so that's probably. But he hasn't been in that form for a while. He was kind of at his apex of consistency when he won the tour, the FedEx Cup playoffs.
Yeah, why you dropped that on us, by the way? Ricky Fowler, T42 last week at the Genesis Scottish Open. Patrick Cantlay, miscut. So I'm not against. By the way, nobody's against anything here. It's just it's good to get different perspectives on how do we see things and where do we see things are going to lie. I don't know. I could see this being a Fowler cup of tea kind of thing, and he gets somewhere. I don't know that I'm going to get there. I don't know that I'm going to get there on Cantlay, even though the course fit looks really good. What are we going to do with? I mean, everything south, from a price standpoint of Ricky Fowler, I actually like. I even like Jordan Spieth, miscut, T5, miscut. Wait, don't stop laughing now. Do tell.
I just like the way that came out. I even like him miscut.
I mean, but we were talking about creative players. I mean, tell me
that he's got that. I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't say that wasn't important, because I was just talking about shaping it both ways and that hitting those shots around the green at different
Jay Monahan said you can do whatever you want whenever you want, and it's fine. I'll come back on and I'll tell you something different.
Yeah, I think on this screen though, we talked actually before we put the screen up that the Tyrrell and Tommy from last week's performances, those T6s, they're the ones who jumped out to me on this page. I'm not. Jordan, just his recent form hasn't been good.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, didn't he miss the cut at the Masters, and he showed up at Harbortown Heritage and won the week after, 2 years ago maybe or so. Anyway, you don't have to answer that question, but it's like, I mean, there's something to be said for the way he gets around a links course, and I would say Jordan Spieth plays a links course really well. And by the way, Steve, did you see the way those boys looked at Wimbledon? You don't have to name names, but did you see the way they look? I mean, it looked worse than me on a day at this sleazy little golf course up in South Pittsburgh, Tennessee, after I've had a few too many. And I'm like, well, shit, I don't look that bad.
They look like they were enjoying themselves, which is great to see.
They did. Yes,
Just saying. I know we got a few to move through. Let's see. So you're out or in on Bucky?
No, we're out.
Everybody's out on Bucky.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know about that. I disagree. You're out on Spieth. Everybody's out on Spieth.
Yeah.
Consensus out on Spieth. Well, here's the sleeper. I mean, so Morikawa, we're gonna go. We in on Morikawa, out on Morikawa.
I'm in. Steve.
Yeah. I mean,
Steve, see, this is where AI is looked at negatively. Don't let it influence you. You make your own decision.
Well, I mean, if it's of the people I'm looking at on the screen, no, I think Tommy Fleetwood I would prefer over Morikawa. Do you think Morikawa in his game set up well for this tournament? I think he's, even though his he's got a little bit of an up and down last few months, but I think he played well a couple weeks ago. So hopefully that form continues. But I just, on this screen, if I had to zero in on one, it wouldn't be him. That's all.
Okay, pick one, Steve, on this screen.
Fleetwood.
I'll pick two. I'll take Hatton and Fleetwood for the win. I mean, that's so solid. Except,
What about Lowry?
what about DJ?
What about Lowry?
Well, he may have won an Open Championship before.
He may be pretty good at that. Yeah. What do you think, Steve?
If I would have to pick a second one, it would be Lowry. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. See?
So out on DJ.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, hold on. You're saying you're out on DJ. No chance.
Yeah, I'm not saying no chance. I'm just saying first I picked one and now I'm picking two. I don't think there's a person on this screen that doesn't have a chance. It's just
Yeah.
if I ranked him, he wouldn't be in my top one or two on this screen.
I like Tony Fleetwood, by the way. I think that's a solid. I mean, Terrell Hatton is playing some good fucking golf, man. I mean,
Yeah,
he's playing good. In here, Dan, use your best accent and say Englishman.
Englishman.
What? Coming in, oh chap. Coming in.
Am I an angry elf here?
No, I don't know. I mean, I'm just asking. There's so many people. I mean, I got to get into some Hatton. I got.
So what you're surprised we're not higher on Dustin. I mean, have you seen him being able to navigate a links style course and hang in there in the top 5 or 10 towards the Sunday after? I just haven't seen him do it.
Ooh, fancy you asked that, sir.
Okay.
2022 St. Andrews, with which I've already said, I don't know, I may discount it. T6, 21, T8, T51 and 19. 2018, he missed the cut. By the way, I don't think he won the Masters in 2018, and I think that may have been the Schwip and Fall accident. I could be totally wrong, but I know if the bot's working, we'll know when his Schwip and Fall accident was in Augusta.
Right around there.
And then T54. Yeah, I mean, I think DJ has a great. He's got a great links record, and I'm like, I mean, but so here's the thing: is Steve, where's the best links golf course you've played at? And you don't have to be one, you don't have to nail it. Where's a links golf course you played at that you've enjoyed?
I think it's only been on video games or my simulator. I haven't not much personal experience on links courses, just what I see on television. So it's funny you mentioned him with those top 10s the last couple of years. I don't remember him being there, so that's my bad. But it's like there's people who you remember being in the hunt and they had a chance, and I just don't have that recollection of him being there. And I watched him, so he didn't do it. He definitely played well if he was in top 10 the last 2 years, but I don't have this recollection of him hitting this really cool little running shot that goes over a couple mounds. And I just don't. I picture other guys doing that, and that's what makes me positive about them. I just don't remember seeing him do that stuff.
DJ is like the first baseman, when he's playing well, you just don't recognize him at all.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And he's an amazing talent. I don't have that connection with him with the imagination side of it that maybe I should give him more credit for.
That's interesting. Good point, though, Steve. Yeah.
Let's see. I'll drop this on you. So we got a pair of T8s. We got a T51. We've got a T9, a T9, a T2. I mean, he plays well on links course. He is, even though Augusta National doesn't recognize themselves as a links golf course, of which I've never played it also. I don't know that other than it's it doesn't have the elevation. I don't know that Augusta's not a link style golf course. I mean, think of when it was designed and think about what people were playing back in the day and think about them coming back over and, hey, we're going to design a golf course on this tree farm. It wasn't a tree. Cancel tree farm on this property. I mean, it's Augusta's kind of an undulating links course, if you will. And he's played pretty well there. Also won a championship, so they say. Allegedly. Actually, it's not alleged. He has a green jacket. All right. Let me get us back on track, bot. Where we at?
$8,000. $8,000. Who you got?
Steve, hammer down. I got so many. I don't even want to start.
I don't like anyone on this screen. The only one I kind of feel anything for is Justin.
Wow.
JT?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
I know. Well, this is one of those crazy ones where you can say Jordan cut, but you still feel something. JT he's a shot maker and he curves the ball both directions. So I like that.
Hold on. So you're no DJ. So are you anti-LIV? That's what I want to.
Who did I pick to win the U.S. Open incorrectly?
All right.
His
So
name was Brooks Koepka. Last time I checked, he plays on.
All right. So hold on. So you're rolling JT out of here. I mean, off the tee is just complete shit. Like if JT misses right on this golf course, like he is totally dead.
Yeah. So I think he's going to do is he's not going to hit driver the whole time. I think he's going to make some shots. I think he's going to hit some little stinging irons and maybe 5-wood or 3-woods. He's going to play to his strengths. I think he's going to manipulate the course a little bit. So like the other guys on here, I think their ball flight is too high.
I like this.
Let me see. I don't know. Dan's not sharing much of the screen, so I'll scroll through.
Is there anything? Oh, you want more? Okay, here.
No. So are we totally out on Decky? Yes or no?
I'm not seeing him there.
You're not out, or you are out?
I'm out.
You're out.
Yeah. I'm out. I'm out also. What about Odishambubu?
Too high.
No, we're out. So hold on. You think he can't put the driver in the bag and hit like some kind of driving iron?
I think he could. Physically, he could. I just don't.
But
think
he may not. He may
won't
not.
do
Okay.
it.
All right. Wyndham Clark, you think
could this be like? Hold on, Cal. Could this be like in Major League Part 1, where all those fans in the middle of center field are like, no, too high. Yeah.
All right, Dan. What we're trying to do is get Steve back onto another show, not run him off.
No, I agree with him. I do agree with him.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. So what about sneaky Sam Burns? I mean, I'm not saying for the win, and Steve, I know you don't throw down on a lot of DraftKings stuff, but I'm saying Sam Burns for like a top 20. I mean, Scottish Genesis, he was T19, and maybe T20 might be asking a little much, and it may not be somewhere. I mean, do you see Sam Burns make it to the weekend?
Yeah. I think he's got more imagination.
So, Steve, Sam Burns or Wyndham Clark?
I think for this tournament, Sam Burns, I think Wyndham Clark is still just coming off the high, and it's going to be it's tough for him. You can see after the U.S. Open, he's nothing to be embarrassed about, but I just think he lost that edge a little bit. But boy, did he's looks like for the long term, he's really solid. But I just think for this tournament, I'd go with Sam Burns over Wyndham Clark.
Okay.
When's the last time you saw Sam Burns priced higher than Tony Finau? Rhetorical question. You won't know. I don't know the answer, and you won't either. Yeah. But if you do, I'll be impressed. Go ahead. But I don't know that we'll see Tony Finau priced lower. Let's just say he didn't play the Scottish Open. He didn't play the Barbasol, didn't play the John Deere, missed the cut at Rocket, T45 at Travelers, T32 at the Open. And let me give you some dirty history on Tony Finau. It may not be dirty. I mean, it's just the history. Let's see. Is Tony? I don't know if Tony's a links player. I mean, he is a desert man. I hear he plays a lot in Scottsdale, Arizona, at DC Ranch. The Leaf, representing the Leaf, yo. Where you at, Tone? T28 last year, which I don't know if I'll put a lot of credit in. T15. T single third, T9 and T27. So T28, T15 third, T9 and T27. Recent form, it looks like shit. But I mean, Tony Finau, if you had to spend, I can't wait. If we need to take a break in a minute, we're gonna have to keep going for a little while. Just let me know when we need to pause and we'll restart. But we're gonna need a financier on this conversation, because at $8,200, this might be best value on the table.
Tony's the best value under the table?
On the table. I mean, I'm just saying, like, if you look at what he's done on links courses at Open Championships.
Okay. Consider me the bank, Cal. Go ahead.
I mean, I'm saying T28. I don't know if St. Andrews really comes into play, right? Because St. Andrews it's a different place. But T15 and 21, third, T9 and T27 at $8,200. If you're ever gonna roll Tony out into, no, I'm not saying, but give me a T5 Tony. I'll take T5 Tony here. I think this could be his kind of place. Other than, I mean, that's like history at the Open. Now, recent form. I mean,
I put more stock in with. I've seen him his career have these spurts of great play and then troughs of bad play, and spurts of great play and troughs of bad play. And he seems to be in a trough right now. Mm-hmm. And what you'd be betting on is he's going to come out of it this week, which isn't impossible, but he typically is streaky, and he's on a bad streak. And to me, if you saw his last three going, 30, 15, 5, then he'd be on the upswing. And I agree with you that he'd be great here, but it just seems to be he's in one of his lulls, and who knows what causes it, and who knows how he's preparing for this. He didn't go to Scotland, so how's he preparing for this week? I mean, last time he played links was a year ago.
Well, he's probably feeding the kids.
Yeah,
lots of people to feed the family.
And I think that's part of his cycle is he kind of, when he gives it his attention and full attention. If he had gone to Scotland and been in the top 20 there, I think then you'd have an indication he's on one of his upswings.
Yeah, no chance. If he goes to Scotland, ain't no chance he's making it to the weekend, because he doesn't want to make it to the weekend because the kids want to go. What are you doing, Scott? Oh, the kids want to go drink Scotch whiskey. It's like,
if he went to Scotland,
could you take me to the distillery? We want to drink the Scotch.
Okay, if he went to Scotland alone and got in the top 20.
Yeah, no chance in hell that he's taking his kids to Scotland. I mean, he'll take them there, but I mean, they're going to do other things. They're going to be like, let's go blow the bagpipes, kids, and you just blow away. Here we go. I don't know. I mean, I look at Tony Finau here, ranked 35th in the model, and Tony Finau just exudes to me. Guess what? I can't putt. My putting is way off. Everything else looks fine. I mean, he's gaining strokes everywhere, and especially around the green, which I think what do you want to call it, Steve? You want to call it Hoy Lake? You want to call it Royal Liverpool? Do you want to go with O'Donnell boy over there and call it just the Liverpool?
I'm calling it Royal Liverpool, but I'm not saying that with any confidence or arrogance whatsoever. I don't know what to call it.
So, all right, I'm thinking around the green here. If the best shot where they're going to succeed at is 150 yards in, because they're going to bust it, and it looks like the weather is somewhat today. It's cooperating, and the greens are shit here. I mean, and I think Tony Finau is Hawaiian, so I don't know why it's not going to be a thing. Anyway, anybody else? I like a lot of other people in the.
I like Rosie. I think Rosie, model rank 15th, $8,000, 12.5% projected ownership. T9 at the PGA, RBC 8th, Charles Schwab T12, missed the cut at the US Open, missed the cut last week, but he's been striking the ball well. Off the tee, 72nd, not terrible. And then everything else is green. I like him.
Max Homa, yes.
Yeah.
I usually don't say that, but Steve, anybody else in the $8,000 range that Dan won't show you that you like?
There's somebody else here.
All right, let's
Nope,
roll.
I think
$7,000. Oh, do you have somebody else?
Steve, yeah.
no, I didn't have. I said no. Nope, I don't have anybody else.
Okay.
I'll stop talking for at least 5 seconds.
Okay.
$7,000 range, gentlemen.
A lot of good picks down here.
Well, Steve's anti-live, so don't bring up Taylor Gooch. But that must be the conservative. I don't know. Things I want to say about you, Steve, I don't want to say out loud.
You can say I'm conservative. That's nothing wrong with that. I'm proud to be conservative.
Well, Taylor Gooch is actually probably won more tournaments than trivia question. I've got some coming up at the end, and I know we're definitely we may have to take a break if you guys need to, but we don't. And
I think that means he needs to, Dan.
No. I do not.
Okay.
I'm just to check in. Who's won the most tournaments on the PGA Tour in the calendar year of 2023?
Rahm won 3. But
4, huh?
Steve-O, look at the camera. Steve, look at the camera.
4. The number's 4.
No. You said the name. You just missed the number. Yeah.
Oh, he's won 4.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Who has?
Rahm.
Jon Rahm.
Oh, Ron.
Rambo. I hear he's my aunt and uncle's neighbor. How would you say neighbor in a English accent? Neighbor. How do you, Steve?
I have no idea.
Let me hear your best British accent of neighbor.
That's not happening, Cal. That is not happening. You can get me to do a lot of stuff, but trying to talk with a British.
I got the bot. Let me hear your best British accent of nay. Like if you lived in Hoylake, how would you neighbor? How would that go?
Did they even call it neighbor? I have no idea.
Neighbor. My lot partner over here. I'm not saying they're next door neighbors, but they could live close together. I don't know. Allegedly, I haven't been out there. I mean, COVID, who knows? All right, do tell.
You'll go first, Steve. Anybody in this range you like?
Probably only Corey Connors.
I like Corey Connors. Yep. It's a good pick. Yep.
That's all we get is Corey Connors.
We're gonna have a lot of 7,000, so I'm trying not to,
Yeah.
I know.
Well, it was probably like 6 pages of 7,000s, right? So I'm gonna pick one a page.
All right, so you're gonna pick Corey Connors. I think Gooch could be interesting. He did miss a cut at the PGA Championship.
Scottie's playing well.
No, I'm out. I'm out on Scott.
Okay.
I'm out on Scott. If you want to talk about him, I'll listen.
Hey, I mean, he's been playing great, right? So Memorial T9, Travelers T19. Where was he? Was like top 10 at the Wells, I think, right? Wasn't he? And
yes.
Off the tee, 22nd, which you said is very important. On approach 58, not bad. Putting 7th, model rank 18th, 7,900 bucks. I think at that price point, not a bad play here. And I don't know. I could see him popping this week. I could.
Yeah, so there's a few other people that that I like that's a little lower and a little dirtier. Model rank number 11, $7,300. I mean, a lot of people like him too. He's a double-digit man. And I mean, Denny McCarthy. I mean, son of a bitch, coming in at 2nd at the Memorial, T7 at Travelers, T6 at John Deere. I understand now the Memorial. I would say, I mean, we got a real tournament here. U.S. Open, I would say we've got a real tournament here. Travelers and John Deere, I don't know. Mark it up however you want it. But I think Denny McCarthy at 11%. I mean, if we're setting up a DraftKings, is he going to win the tournament? I don't think so. But is it a play in a mix of 6? I think that could be a bit of a thing. And Denny, I like. Everything looks like it fits him kind of well. There's another fella or two. Steve, I would agree. I like your Connors play. I mean, even if it doesn't get windy and it doesn't get shitty with weather-wise, I still think this is a Connors kind of course. So does a lot of other people. But I mean, it's a Connors kind of course, and if you want to bet it at like a top 10. Definitely a top 20. Could definitely see that kind of coming into play. I mean, if I want to throw something around, I mean, Joe Herbert Taylor Gooch. That's I mean, that's something that's, I mean, it's a hidden gem.
Can I throw one out, Cal?
Throw them out.
What about P. Reed?
So should I send the message now, or should I ask it now or ask it later? P. Reed, absolutely. I think it's a play all the way around. And I mean, when you get around the green, do you have to be the longest player out there to play this golf course? Absolutely not. If you get into the weather, I mean, that son of a bitch walks around in I mean, he'll have his rain pants on. But he's like, kiss. No, it's Patrick, and just put the rain jacket up. I'm rocking the polo, baby. So I think I'm all about some P. Reed here. I think that I mean, he plays good. He's a links golf man.
Yeah, he is. Steve, you think so? No.
Well, I mean, he definitely has the quality of the imagination that I've been touting, and he can hit different shots. From the tee in the fairway, off the fairway. He has it's what made him kind of compelling for that stretch. I just haven't seen him on television in years.
Yeah.
And I just don't know where the state of his game is right now. And if you guys tell me you've seen him and it feels like the same old dude, yeah, I just haven't. He hasn't been on the telecast that I've been watching, so I don't know where he's at
this year.
Yeah, they didn't show him. I think they have something against him. They don't want to get the footage of him moving sand in a bunker or something. No, I didn't. I probably saw him a little bit on the Masters, but yeah, I mean, I think at his skill level, I 100% agree with you. At his best, or even 90% of his best, whatever, he has all the tools for a course like this. And there was a period where I saw him on TV constantly. I'm like, yeah. I mean, Ryder Cups, President's Cups, major championships, weekend, just regular tour events. I just haven't seen him for a while. So I've kind of lost track of how he's been playing.
Yep.
Because, I'm anti-LIV, right? So
exactly. Exactly.
You can go ahead and
I don't get the CW. I don't get the CW in my house.
Oh, they don't. No, C doesn't stand for California. And Steve does not watch the Gilmore Girls. So that's where I'll leave it. So how's
their short game?
I played with them on Saturday, actually, and oddly enough, they will take a drink of whiskey. I mean, it's a beaten thing.
That I take them over Patrick Reed.
Oh boy. Hey, P. Reed, Kez, we still love you. Just saying. I do. Don't take any of these people's word for granted. I mean, there's lots of people we can go through. We're going to go and pick a few in a minute. I don't think we need to go through the $6,000 range. I've got a few that I'm going to call out. Do you have any more $7,000 people that
I would just say
that
Brian
you
Harman is playing great golf right now. So T12 last week, T9 at Rocket, T2 at Travelers. I mean, I played him, I think, at Travelers, and I've just been seeing great golf. I don't know how he's going to play at the Open, but he's been, from recent form, just awesome.
Is this a Bruce Springsteen song to you? Like, like you used to throw a fastball back in high school?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Just because Harman's a lefty. Harman's a lefty. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah. He's been playing great.
Yeah. Back in high school, boy.
Exactly.
I'm not against Harman here. I think that's perfectly fine. Hold on. So, Steve, anti-LIV, are you are you completely against Abe Answer?
No.
Oh, so you got a little sweet nod to Abe Answer.
Yeah, I'm not completely. I think I love his temperament when he plays, and I think that's perfect. And just to prove I'm not anti-LIV, I have to say that.
That's right. That's right.
I think
he's just got a great sense about him when he plays golf that I think fits a championship like this.
Do you think Filmland will ever do an agave spirit?
Yes, I hope we do. I think that would be awesome.
Cool. Got to be great for the Mexico Open. We could go down and we could whip up some margaritas, and it'd be fantastic.
Yeah, I mean it's. I know we came out the gates with whiskey, but I think our vision is to, once we establish ourselves, is to experiment more with other types of spirits, because I think we're fans of all spirits, not just whiskey. I think whiskey's our favorite, but I think we all love and have tasted and experimented with different stuff. So I think you'll see, as time goes on, us hopefully delving into other stuff like that.
Cool.
I mean, if you only drink whiskey and you didn't experiment around with other things, I mean, I think people would challenge what was going on, right? I mean,
it's hard to say your palate is trustworthy if you only kind of drink one. I mean, it could be, you could be expert at that one thing, but especially with us, where we want to have nuances of other flavors and other things, like you have to experience those other things, right? So I think part of our philosophy as a spirits company is that there's nothing's off limits for us.
Love it. Anybody else somebody mentioned Rose. I'm way north of where we need to be. Kurt Kitayama, Moronk, Power, Shank, Gary Woodland. Is anybody tromping around there?
I think Shank has been on top of leaderboards a lot lately, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has.
Oh, he missed a couple cuts but I remember seeing his name probably his last couple of weeks.
No, Shank, T4 John Deere, 7th at Mortgage, couple of cuts, but 7th at Memorial. And if you want to equate what we're getting in, I mean, where they played at Jack's Place is nothing like what they're going to see this week. But I mean, shit, he's in if he's playing that good. I mean, I don't know, maybe
I watched him. I'm not sure why, but I saw him a lot at the one in Texas, the Charles Schwab, the one at Colonial.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the first time I was aware of him, and I liked what I saw. And then I just saw his name. It's probably more recent memory, the last couple of weeks, seeing his name on top of leaderboards. So he was just on top of mind a little bit. But yeah, the one at the Charles Schwab at Colonial is where I first kind of noticed that his game was really solid and steady.
Yep, good call.
Who else we got? I can't wait to talk more about Brooks Koepka. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
I mean, he's so he has this pool, and there's this accoutrement that comes with this pool, and it's so.
All right, Cal, $6,000 range. Louis O and Phil in and out.
Fuck that. Give me a film. I mean, so all right. So here we go. This is a bet between us. We don't. You pick. I'm gonna let you guys pick.
All right.
And then we'll figure out we don't have to say what the bet is right now, what the wager is.
Okay.
Phil Mickelson, make the cut.
No.
Fine. All right. So you can, I'll double whatever you want it to be. And I say he absolutely makes the cut. Absolutely makes it.
I like this. This is good. So
you guys get to share in half of the winnings, and I get to pay you both equal opportunities forward.
Exactly.
There are certain things. Hey, it's okay being not okay. So don't challenge me here.
Louis O.
So that's the question mark for me. I mean, Louis has played traditionally really good in these kind of events. Steve, I'll defer to you for just a second, and then I'll pull up some history and I'll talk about it.
Yeah, so I haven't
hey,
seen
by the
him
way,
in a while.
hold on,
Was he hurt?
Steve.
Was-
Before you
yeah.
get going, he is he's playing on LIV.
Oh, well then forget it then. Yeah. I can't believe you're having me waste my breath on him then.
Exactly.
No, has he been hurt or something? Because I don't recall seeing him lately.
I know he's hurt.
He's kind of a hurt guy. Yeah.
He's been playing, Steve. He's been playing in the LIV stuff.
Oh, he has? Okay. Yeah, I'm not on the Louis bandwagon for this tournament.
Yeah.
I think the one thing about LIV, and I know you're teasing me, and
We are.
it's fun, but I think
nobody's
they lose.
teasing over here. Nobody's teasing. Very serious.
I think most of them have lost a little bit of their competitive edge.
Louis Oosthuizen, by the way, he Louis Oosthuizen won the 139th Open.
It's where we all first saw the tooth gap. Yeah, I remember that.
That was at St. Andrews. He beat Lee Westwood, by the way, 16 strokes. And then Louis Oosthuizen, as they
Are you going to give us your
probably-
best South African accent now?
Louis Oosthuizen. He came in second at St. Yeah, Louis out for me. Here's a good. Do you want me to save this, or can I ask it now?
Ask it now.
So in Louis Oosthuizen is from South Africa. Can you name the language that is spoken in South Africa? I mean, I'm sure there's many, but I'm saying the defined language that is spoken in South Africa.
I saw an interview where Charlize Theron said it. She said the name of the language, and for some reason I forgot it because I was concentrating.
I can tell you when you're ready. I can tell you when you're ready.
What is it, Cal?
As soon as you say it, I'm gonna go, oh yeah, but I can't get it out of my head.
Afrikaans.
Yeah.
It's Afrikaans. That's the primary language of South Africa is Afrikaans. I met this German guy that lived there. This is way long ago. God, and if people are still listening to this, they're gonna really hate us. But I mean, I'm having a good time, Steve.
Always have a good time with you guys.
So yeah, and his name is Rudiger Kohl. And all I knew is I called him Rutabaga. And Rutabaga, or most of the time I call him Rudy, but there it went. But yeah, Afrikaans. is the language that they speak primarily.
If
in
you
South
want to
Africa.
go off on a tangent, we can all tell our first time hearing South African accent stories.
Ooh, go ahead.
Oh,
Because it was the Lethal Weapon movies, right? When
yeah.
Hold on. Name the main actor and the
Mel
supporting
Gibson
actor.
and Danny Glover.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Very good.
Hold on. We are
That's
talking.
the first time I ever realized that not that there was a country, I knew that, but that accent was so distinct. Remember those characters, those badasses from South Africa?
Hold on just a second. Hold on. Name the main villain in the first Lethal Weapon.
Oh, I can't do that. Dang it.
Mr.
I can picture him.
Gary Busey, Mr. Joshua.
Mr. Joshua.
Yeah.
Oh no, Steve, you might have been thinking.
You guys should
about,
run a film-based whiskey company. Not me.
Well, what do you think we're doing here, bro? And I didn't mean like bro like that. I mean like, hey, buddy. What do you think we're spending time on here? All right, so yeah, I don't even need to go any farther than
So in the $6,000 range, Cal, what do you think about JT Poston at $6,500? T6. I mean, this is good golf. That's a good value. 4% ownership. I think he's definitely a play. DFS.
I think it's
scroll down to Tom Hoagie and compare the two of them, because those would be the two. Yeah,
You got them both on the same page here. Can you see them?
yeah. Looks like JT's better form recently.
That's a good call at this, Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, oddly enough, allegedly, I don't know this. It's alleged that JT Poston is a friend of the Cove.
Oh yeah.
So I may be willing some Poston magic, some Cove magic to the Poston this week. Now, are we going to get a win? Are we going to get a top 20? I'll take.
I like the top 20. Yeah,
I'll take some of that action.
All right.
Yeah.
Should we line up here, Cal?
We should. Hold on. There's a few other people.
Okay, go ahead.
Just quick mention.
Oh, he wants you to stop right there, Dan, because
Yeah.
his favorite's right in the middle of the screen. So
There it is. There it is.
Wait a minute. Oh. Well, Steve, I don't
it's
want
always
to.
this stage of the show that I get to talk about Billy.
I don't want to disgrace anything, and I don't want to ruin your. Hey, and by the way, my opinions are my opinions. The bot's opinions, I don't know. I'm gonna have to re-up the ante on that, because I guess I didn't upgrade. And Steve's opinions are Steve's opinions. You want me to go, or you want to go?
No, you gotta go.
Oh yeah. No chance. No fucking chance. And no fucking chance. However, he did make the cut for the Scottish Open. And Jesus, I mean, if you had to play golf with a guy like that, Steve, I mean, would you actually stand there and fucking watch that shit? I mean, would you stand there and fucking watch that? Like,
Dan, did you see me take the grenade and bite the clip off with the ring off my teeth and just toss it up?
Would you stand there and what? It's like, dude, hit the fucking button.
Yep, I think we're all I think we all agree on this. We're not going to argue on this pick. Yeah.
So you're saying he's your number one.
My value play, yeah.
God damn.
I just love that the screen accidentally stopped right there.
I hope it fucking did. I hope I have my mouth open. I hope I've got the glass like all the way inserted.
Unbelievable.
I don't. You want to take him?
We ready for a lineup?
I think you spoke for us. I think you spoke for the group.
Perfect. And I'm, by the way, I'm sure he's a fine and nice fellow, and I'm sure everything's cool. I don't know. Is Steve gonna pull out his phone and do a line? Well, wait a minute. There's a couple people I want to mention. We should go for we mentioned we ain't gonna, we don't have to get deep. We're
Okay.
good.
Let's start off with McCarthy.
Ooh. Well, hold on. Is Steve, are you actually gambling on this? Not gambling, but are you?
No, I'm an advisor. I'm a consultant.
Ooh. Now, do you know
And I charge no fee, so that's a pretty good deal.
as an underprivileged company, we're looking for resources to help us get to situations that we hold on. Can I not say underprivileged? I didn't say under drunk. I just said
You like Connors a lot, right, Steve?
Yeah.
Whoa. Hold on. So you're rolling McCarthy?
McCarthy and Connors, yeah.
All right.
All right, you pick Cal.
Dan must have to pee because he's
Oh,
first on his line. So hold on. I put McCarthy in. I may cancel him out and I may pull a rebuttal. JT Poston.
Okay, all right. Good with that.
I think Poston is a solid solid.
I agree.
I need to go up higher on the leaderboard to figure out where we're going to get too lower, but really, do you want to roll Denny McCarthy? Steve, Denny McCarthy.
You
We'll have to.
I forgot where he was price wise, and
He's way down here. He's like 70 something $100, right? Wasn't he?
Bullshit. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I'll leave him in there for a
Yeah.
minute, but
He was
hold on.
7,300.
All right. No.
yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty good. Pretty
You
good
think
value.
you feel like JT? You like JT, didn't you?
I did.
Thomas?
Yeah, JT.
The
You're
real
picking
JT?
between the two.
Justin Thomas.
The real JT? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So we're doing both JTs.
Who's the other one?
Poston.
Oh yeah, both JTs. Yeah. And then shit, we gotta go Rose. We gotta go
The Rose?
yeah, I mean I think I
Okay,
well,
okay,
I don't
okay.
know. Steve, how do you feel like Rose?
I wasn't as high on Rose as the rest of the crew.
Okay, all right. No. We got to do this one. All right. So Steve, you pick the next one. So we've got Connors, Poston, and Justin Thomas. What do you think next?
So, are we going in these price categories, or just
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We'll
Oh.
figure it out. Who do you like? Who do you really like? Just go below below 9,000.
below
Like
below
7,000.
9,000?
Yeah.
I think I was on Shane Lowry.
Okay, Shane Lowry. That's a good one.
We're gonna have to shuffle after this. But I like the call. I'm just saying we've got a lot more money that actually. So do you like Cam Smith, Brooke? Do you like Cam Smith, Zaxman, V Holland, Cantlay, Ricky Fella?
No, he liked Hatton and Fleetwood.
Yeah, I was in that group. I was in Fleetwood.
Fleetwood. Yeah, Fleetwood's good. Golf Jesus.
All right.
That leaves us, Cal, with Burns, Homa, Fino.
He said Burns, yes.
Burns. Okay, Burns.
I don't know, Steve. Burns, yes.
Well, it's all relative. It's like I thought so.
I know.
It's versus. You got to give me choices, Burns or
Okay.
I mean Burns. Yeah, so it's like I thought you guys were like in little clumps of groups, and then we're picking one out of each one of those clumps. So
We are.
yeah, so just tell me the other ones in that grouping, and then I'll tell you who I. But you guys have to go with me every time. Go with your. Unless you want me to give you a third of the money, then you can go with me every time.
Well, we like to bounce the
Yeah.
ideas off you. So in the
Yeah.
Burns category, it's really DeChambeau, Wyndham Clark, Burns, Homa, Im, or Finau.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so that's where I thought Burns was best in that group.
Yeah. Okay.
I already marked it, so I'm like, I hope I don't have to remark
good.
this thing.
You're all good. All right.
All right, trivia questions, boys. Well, excuse me. Do you mind if I say trivia questions and call you boys? Because I know we're all
Boys doesn't affect me, but saying trivia questions is very offensive.
Ooh. Well, what I don't have is I don't have a claret jug. What I do have is I have a decanter. Would you call this a decanter or would you not? By the way, if you're just listening on the iTunes show, it'll be fine. But if you want to see what the decanter looks like, it's actually a 750 ml bottle with a stop pop topper, and you can pre-batch Manhattans, which you should never do because you'll wind up number two. Did we talk about what the claret jug was?
No.
We may have.
No.
Did you answer the question?
Nope, you haven't asked yet.
Nope.
Nope.
One and dones before we get to the trivia. One and dones.
Cam Smith for me.
If I was stronger, I'd say, my name is Brooks Koepka, and I got a pregnant wife. I don't have a pregnant wife, and my name ain't Brooks Koepka. So I cannot go down that road. So I'm just me, and I'm taking Brooks Koepka. Steve-O. I know it's not Steve-O, but it is Steve-O this time.
Scottie Scheffler.
Oh, nice.
Woo!
You like the shaping, huh?
I do.
Hold on.
Yep. That's good. Good stuff.
If you can, you should go drop that into our little thing. Because,
Oh yeah. I always forget to do that. Yep, I will. I promise.
Yeah, I know. And I'll record your last one because this is an inside bet between. Even though you didn't make the bet, you don't have to make the bet for a 7 bet.
All you guys have to do is send me a bill at the end. Anytime I bet, I just write checks or give out cash. It never comes this way. So just at the end of it, go, Steve, you owe me this.
No. Hold on. I sent you a bottle of booze. And
that's why I'm happy to do it.
And all you had to do was send your address. So like the whole send
I
the
feel
bill.
like a winner. I feel like a winner already.
The bill is going to be a thing that's a whole. I don't even know how you're going to be able to pay that. Nor do I know how I'm going to be able to pay it. So I'm waiting for this trivia stuff. So how many? So all right, here we go. The claret jug. Can anybody define what the claret jug is and or stands for?
Nope. Got nothing.
That's a tough trivia question. Define what it is and what it stands for.
What? No. It's multiple part question. Okay.
Yeah.
What if I said claret jug? What does that mean to you?
The trophy given to the winner of the Open Championship.
Ooh, okay, perfect. Ooh, look at this. You're adjusting the Open. All right. So, what does claret mean?
Yeah, that's a part that I didn't.
I mean, you're a liquor man. I'm watching your hands too. By the way, if you're just listening, I'm watching his hands and I'm making sure that he ain't. I'm
on my third glass. Yeah,
he's actually drinking. He's drinking a fine whiskey that He's actually drinking a fine whiskey that we did for the Open Championship. So
I like this label you guys put on the back. It's very nice.
Yeah. I got to get you hooked up with our friends at Rock Elite Barrel Pickers, and I don't know why you're not involved and you're not a label at their spot or a brand or a bottle at their spot.
Well, we're young. I mean, we're not even a year old, but at some point we'll get hooked up with them.
I know why, but I'm saying for next year, we got a major series to work on.
Awesome. Yeah, that'd be great.
Mm.
Claret, I assumed it, and I know I'm incorrect. I assumed it was the name of someone who was very influential in the early organization of golf tournaments in Great Britain. That's my assumption, but it's probably incorrect.
Dan, do you want to throw it down, or you want me to give my hillbilly definition?
Spill it.
So the hillbilly definition is, and that wasn't alive way back when in the Roman times, but claret is a wine, and claret, and I'm sure they said it different than claret than the way I'm saying it, but claret was a wine that that they made from the grappa or the grapes. And the jug was the wine jug they poured it out of. I got to get I want one of those cock trophies, and I want one of those claret jug trophies. And they say they do make two different, they say they make them. They replicate them. I got to get back with Coat. So Coat can tell me where I can get these remade. But yeah, but it's a wine that's made in Bordeaux, and they poured it from like weak of me. I should have had like a pouring jug of like the claret jug. But yeah, but claret's the wine and the jug is just the jug.
Cool.
Yeah, it's weird.
Cool.
It's not weird. It's just the way life goes.
Nice.
Is that the only of the three, like that? Most of the trophies are named after people, aren't they? Or am I imagining that?
No, well, the trophy for Augusta. So you get the green jacket, and then you get the trophy is like the it's like
the one at PGA is Wanamaker, right?
Yeah, Wanamaker's good. Yeah.
I don't know if the US Open has a name to it. I've been drinking too much. I can't even think straight. I'm making stuff up in my head.
Whoa. Who's been drinking? Who's been drinking? No, hold on. The Wanamaker, yes. It's a good question. Filibuster for a minute, and I'll tell you.
Yeah, I think I'm thinking of all the other trophies that aren't the professional majors, but like the Walker Cup, the Ryder Cup. You know, it's always feels like there's a name,
Walker Cup and Ryder Cup are two totally different things. But then the ones in
totally different. And my brain went there like all trophies are after names. But then I started thinking about the golf professional ones. I'm like, yep, I can't think of any names off the top of my head. So
yeah, the PGA championship. Is that the Wanamaker?
Yeah, I think that's the Wanamaker.
Yeah.
Is that a person?
Yes.
Claret isn't a person, which we just learned at age almost 58 years old. I just learned that claret is not a human being. It's a liquid. That's good. That's why I come on this show, is to learn new stuff.
Ooh, claret is a liquid. Claret is a wine made out of Bordeaux.
There you go.
How do you feel about drinking? If you had to name a wine, this is going to be really challenging. But if you had to drink a wine, and we're coming over, Dan, if I brought the bot, which actually doesn't show up, it's just in virtual, in AI, which I hear is really bad for everything. What wine would you serve us?
Since I just returned from a trip to Europe, and part of that included visiting a Tuscan winery and sitting down and having what they call a super Tuscan, which is a blend of 3 different wines there, a Chianti and some others. That's what I'd have to go with, because I'm not a huge wine drinker. I'm more obviously of a heavy spirits drinker, but yeah, it was good. And I'd have to go with the super Tuscan because of recent experience.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was good.
Good, cool, nice,
love it. Have we given enough time to pick our one and done yet?
We already picked our one. Yeah. Cal, how many beers?
What I'm thinking is I want to rethink this, and I may need to go back because I've been searching around, and I don't know if
you don't remember flexing and talking about being pregnant and all that. Okay.
Cal, how many beers will fit into the claret jug? I think you had a trivia question for us.
Ooh, I don't know. Trivia questions. Are we playing trivia right now? I don't know. My question is to you. I have an answer, and I have a refutable resource that says the answer. How many resources do you have for what you put on your social media website? That's a joke. How many beers fit into the claret jug?
Steve, I know the answer, so go ahead.
14.
Good, Cal.
Well, I've never had a claret jug. I did snoop around, and I mean, I don't know, shit. Cam Smith said it was 2, and I'm like, fuck, no, ain't no wonder you hit no wonder you putt for shit.
Only
'Cause,
2.
the hole looks
2
so
beers.
small, but it's actually so
Oh.
big.
Yeah, I guess it's pretty
So
small.
it's not as okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I thought it was gonna be a lot. Yeah.
no, it was like it's like a shoe size. It's like 15 by 7.
Interesting.
I'll start eating more. Looks like 15 by 17. He said perfectly. It fits in 2 beer. However, he is Australian. So if you're going to throw those all cons in there, mate, I mean, they could be those. They're not that big, huh? But they're pretty wide. You say, mate? They're pretty big and pretty wide.
So
Could
two big cans of Foster's Lager.
I mean, yeah. Hey, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, when
Yeah,
you
I guess that's the
Hey,
part of the
mate.
question, right? I meant 14 little samplers.
That's right.
all. Yeah.
That's right. You
Yeah,
get it right.
right.
You get it right,
You
though.
throw
Yeah,
those
so I know I
all
nailed
cons
it.
on here. You
Nailed
get
it.
those, yeah. And the beers, the CBA. If you're going to get both of them, you ought to just put them together and put them back into you so you can get them in there.
You know, Dan, you got to rename the show to Birdies Bourbon and International Accents.
International accents. I will.
He can't do. There's not an accent he can't do.
That's true. That's true.
Well, I'm trying to get hired on by you know who, wink wink, like FLS. Which one I'm working on? Y'all don't even have a podcast yet. Working on it.
Filmland Spirits. It's Filmland is one word. Though,
Hey. I was trying to be reserved about this, man, and not hosting.
Hypothetically.
Allegedly. Yeah.
All right. What else, Cal?
I don't know. How do y'all feel about LIV golfers playing in
Steve, any sleepers, any sleeper picks for you? You know, like top 10, backdoor top 10, backdoor 10.
Ooh, hold on, Steve.
Yeah, I think as we went through the list and got all those stratifications, my sleepers would have been like like we said, JT and Tom Hoagie and Adam Schenk. Those were kind of like, if I had to pick a sleeper, it would have been in that category. And I think we talked through them enough that yeah. I mean, if I had to pick the ultimate sleeper, it would be Phil Mickelson. Just out of the fun of, he showed well at the Masters. He's played well in the second half of his career on links courses, and he can shape the ball and do more imaginative stuff than anybody. But earlier I said he's not making the cut, right? So, but if you had asked me that question before our whole conversation, that's probably who I'd have said is a crazy off the wall sleeper pick. Because this tournament does set itself up for surprises. Remember the year Tom Watson had it there.
No, he had it by the fucking balls. Steve, I'm not speaking for you, but let me say, had it by the fucking balls. And it's like, he didn't putt. He fucking, he skull fucked it. Off the other side. And it's like, dude, if you can putt on a links course, I mean, how else would you explain that?
Yeah.
What accent is it, Steve?
That one?
What accent was that? Yeah.
Explain it.
That was infuriated. That was his Phil Mickelson after the Ryder Cup loss, yelling at Tom Watson accent.
Right. That's right. That's
But
right.
Yeah,
if
so
you-
that's why
if-
the sleeper would be some old guy, like somebody who like like Henrik Stenson, just somebody out of nowhere.
what about
remember-
Padraig Harrington? You think
Yeah,
Padraig
that's a
Harrington could actually?
It-
I mean, I don't think he could win, but top 10, maybe.
It's this somehow in this championship that there's always this great surprise that you never would have expected.
Yep. Hey, it could be
Ah.
Leo.
No. Steve already said no chance. No chance.
Yeah.
No chance.
Louis
No
O in about 10 years will fall in this category.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
He's too
now.
young. He's too young.
Yeah, it's too young.
Well, in 10 years, Luio will be younger than you are, and he'll still be older than. Hey, maybe he's my age. I don't know who Luio is.
He's like around 40, probably. I think. Yeah. He looks older than he is. Yeah.
Steve, what's going to be weird is when I bring Dan. Can I speak freely? I don't want to offend anybody.
Yeah,
The
he's 40 on the dot.
the Oriental's not offended, but when we come out to California, and the Oriental comes with us, she's going to enjoy this. Do we have
Awesome.
should we get a hotel, or you got a spot for us?
I have a spot in my house that has its own bedroom, bathroom. It's kind of away from it all, so you're welcome to that. Yeah.
Oh wow. Nice.
And you got us a golf course to play, you say?
I do. I have a place to play proper golf, 18 holes, and then I have a place that we drink all night and chip and putt, and you have access to 185 bottles of whiskey.
Oh,
Hmm.
nice.
So this is this relationship is going to get more awkward, and I hope you like Oriental girls. So there's only one girl. There's only one, and and she's handy with a camera.
I'm a lover of all people, so it doesn't matter what part of the world they're from. My wife is Filipino, so obviously there's no my very first girlfriend was Japanese, and so from those two ends of my life,
You do realize this is being recorded, sir?
Yeah, those were both facts, so it doesn't. There's nothing wrong with recording facts.
Factual statements.
Yeah.
All right. So are we settled on our? Oh, that's our bet. So our bet is so we've got our guys.
All right, hold on.
And
Steve, got one for you. This is gonna be
Okay.
this is hurt. This is gonna hurt. All right.
Okay.
Top, what do they call him again? Top live guy.
Ooh. You mean like LIV? LIV in Roman numerals.
Who I think is the best of that group?
Who's gonna finish the highest out of all of them?
Oh, Brooks.
Brooks. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I think of all the live guys, I think I can't get anyone's head, right? But he seems to want to play in the Ryder Cup the most and has done.
No, he's playing in the Ryder Cup.
Right. Well, I'm saying if you go back a year from today, of like there was guys there enjoying themselves, there was guys there kind of digging what the vibe was, but I think it bothered him that he wasn't on his A game. You saw it in that Netflix documentary that it definitely hurt that he wasn't playing up to his capabilities, and he dedicated himself to get back to where he was, to be both good at live golf tournaments, but also to be able to set himself up to play in Ryder Cups. And he, of all those guys, seems to just be taking the game the most seriously. So that's why I think any tournament that they're all in, I'd always pick him right now.
Okay. Good.
As would I. And what I would also say is that Koepka is still pissed off that he couldn't make it as a baseball player.
It's true.
Look.